There exists a door not made of wood or metal, but of light, code, and sacred memory. A door suspended beyond time, sealed by divine wisdom, hidden in plain sight. Thoth, the ancient god of wisdom, wrote its secrets in the stars, but left one key behind. That key, chosen one, is you. And now, after lifetimes of forgetting, it's time to remember. You've always felt like you don't belong, like you were born with ancient echoes in your veins, speaking in riddles only your soul could understand. While others sleepwalk through life, something inside you burns, asking questions no one else dares to voice. That's not a coincidence, it's a calling. Being chosen isn't about superiority, it's about responsibility. You were marked not by man, but by source. Long before your birth, your soul stood in a realm of silence and stars and whispered, "Send me." You came not to blend in, but to awaken, to heal ancestral wounds, to resurrect forgotten truths. But awakening doesn't come gently, it shakes, it destroys, it burns everything false. Society was built to silence those like you. It distracts you with noise, burdens you with doubt, and makes your inner knowing feel like madness. But what they call madness is just magic in disguise. You were never broken, you were just decoding a world that forgot the language of the soul. Thoth knew this. That's why he didn't build a door for the world. He built it for the rare soul brave enough to walk alone. The door cannot be seen by eyes clouded in fear. It reveals itself only through intuition, stillness, and pain. And when you stand before it, it won't open by force. It will open by frequency. You've felt the pull toward ancient knowledge, sacred geometry, lost civilizations, the stars. That's not just curiosity, it's memory. Your soul is remembering Atlantis, Kemet, Lemuria, places where you once walked, taught, and healed. Every synchronicity, every repeating number, every unexplainable dream, it's the universe nudging you back to the path you forgot. People will doubt you, they already have. Some left you, some mocked you, but your path was never meant to be crowded. Isolation was initiation. Rejection was redirection. You were being refined in silence, so that when you speak, your voice carries the vibration of truth. And truth cuts through illusions like fire through fog. The chosen are not loud, they are quiet storms. They move differently, feel deeper, and carry a knowing they can't always explain. But that knowing is what the world has feared for millennia. Because when you awaken, systems break, illusions collapse, and control slips. There are ancient forces still guarding that cosmic door. Forces that whisper lies to keep you small. But their power only works when you forget who you are. When you remember, the door begins to shimmer. You'll feel it in your bones, in your dreams, in your solitude. Have you felt that moment of stillness when time stops and everything feels significant? That's the door calling. It doesn't shout, it hums like a forgotten song. And every time you honor your intuition, follow your truth, or choose love over fear, you align with its key. Thoth encoded it all in symbols, the ibis, the emerald tablets, the eye of the moon. He left breadcrumbs not for the world, but for you. Because only the chosen could read between the lines. Only the chosen could remember through the pain. You're not crazy, you're cosmic, you're not lost, you're transitioning, you're not too late, you're right on divine time. You didn't come here to find a path, you are the path. You came here to awaken others just by being. Your vibration is your message, your alignment is your revolution. You were chosen not to escape the world, but to transform it, to bring heaven through your hands, your heart, your voice, to walk as a living doorway between realms. And now, the door waits, silent, glowing, ready. Are you? Chosen one, this is your time. No more hiding, no more doubting. The cosmic door Thoth built is open, but only for those who dare to walk through it. If you feel this message in your soul, if your heart burned as these words unfolded, you are not alone. You are awakening. So rise, shine, walk the path of light. And if this stirred something deep within you, like comment your truth and subscribe to Ascended Awakening. Your tribe is waiting. Your mission has begun, and the stars are watching. There is something sacred about your silence, chosen one. Something ancient within you knows that not all wisdom needs to be spoken. Some truths are etched into the soul, passed down not through words but through vibration. Every time you sit alone in the dark, feeling everything, questioning everything, you're not falling apart. You're falling inward. You're remembering. The world trained you to chase, to perform, to fit in. But your soul never wanted conformity. It wanted connection. And not the surface-level kind, the kind that speaks through energy, through eyes, through presence. That's why you've always struggled in shallow spaces, because your spirit was built for depth. You were born with an inner compass no one taught you how to read, a whisper that led you to books you couldn't explain, symbols you instantly recognized, and emotions that overwhelmed you with no clear source. You thought you were different, you thought you were broken, but in truth, you were just awakening in a world still asleep. Thoth saw this coming. He knew the chosen ones would reincarnate in waves, especially now at the turning of ages. This isn't just your life, it's your mission. Your awakening is timed with planetary cycles, ancient prophecies, and cosmic alignments. You are not random, you are right on cue. That door, the one built in higher realms, it doesn't open with intellect. It opens with purity, with frequency, with love untainted by ego. It responds to resonance, not effort. And that's why most can't find it. They're searching with logic when the key was always encoded in feeling. Have you noticed how life pushed you into solitude, how betrayal became your teacher, how every loss stripped something you didn't need? That wasn't punishment. That was preparation. Because only an unburdened soul can carry the weight of sacred truth. Only a purified heart can walk through divine thresholds. And you've been walking through fire. Silent, misunderstood, tested beyond reason. But what looked like destruction was actually initiation. The path of the chosen is not paved with comfort. It's carved through chaos. You carry light codes in your DNA, codes that respond to sound, intention, and alignment. When you laugh, heal, forgive, or create, those codes activate. They send signals through the grid, reminding others who they are. You don't just wake yourself, you trigger awakenings in everyone you meet. That's why some people couldn't stay in your life. Your light exposed their shadows. Your energy made them uncomfortable, not because you harmed them, but because you reflected truth they weren't ready to face. Don't shrink for that. Don't apologize for your essence. You didn't come here to be liked. You came here to be legendary. Thoth didn't leave behind physical instructions. He left vibrational signatures. They exist in pyramids, sacred texts, frequencies, and dreams. But the real tablet, it's you. You are the living emerald tablet. You are the codebook reborn in human form. And every step you take toward your higher self unlocks a part of that ancient script. Even your pain has a purpose. Every tear watered the soil of your awakening. Every sleepless night softened the walls of your mind so your soul could finally speak. And now it's speaking louder than ever. Can you hear it? The dreams that won't leave you alone, the synchronicities that defy logic, the unshakable knowing that you were born for something more. These are not coincidences. These are the echoes of Thoth's door, vibrating through your reality. The world is changing and the old systems are crumbling. Why? Because the door is opening, and those who hold the key, the chosen ones, are beginning to remember, not from books, but from soul memory, from timelines collapsing and lifetimes converging. You've walked this earth before. You've held staffs of light, healed with your hands, whispered to stars. You were called a seer, a sage, a mystic, a heretic. And now you're back, not to start a new path, but to finish an ancient one. Can you feel it in your bones? That subtle shift, like something sacred is about to burst open. That's your higher self, aligning with destiny. That's the door, pulsing in rhythm with your soul's heartbeat. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to awaken the few who would one day awaken the many. That's why your journey has felt so lonely. The deeper your soul goes, the fewer companions you'll find, but the deeper you go, the more powerful your presence becomes. You don't need to speak to be felt. Your aura speaks in frequencies that pierce through illusion. That's why some stare at you a little too long. That's why strangers open up to you without knowing why. That's why energy shifts when you enter a room. They don't see it, but they feel it. Something ancient, something sacred, something they forgot they needed. Thoth encoded your path with mirrors. Not the kind that reflect your face, but the kind that reflect your truth. People, places and patterns keep showing up in cycles, not to punish you, but to awaken you. Every loop is an opportunity to reclaim your power. Every challenge is a doorway in disguise. And when you finally stop running, when you sit in the silence of your own being, the door appears. It doesn't look like anything the world recognizes. It's not grand. It's not loud. It's subtle. It flickers behind your eyes, within your chest, in those quiet moments when you forget the world and remember your soul. You don't need to be perfect to step through it. You need to be real. You need to be stripped of false identities, ego masks, and the need for validation. That's what your path has been doing all along, breaking you open so the truth could pour out. There's a reason your heart never gave up, even when your mind begged it to. Something ancient in you remembered this moment, this season, this return, because when the chosen one awakens, timelines shift, frequencies recalibrate, generational curses break. You are not here by accident. You are the living prophecy of every ancestor who prayed for someone brave enough to heal what they could not. You are the embodiment of promises whispered into the void by those who saw but could not speak. Every time you forgive, you unlock a new room in the cosmic temple. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, another seal is broken. The more aligned you become with your divine self, the more the door begins to shimmer, not out there, but within. This door, chosen one, is not a portal in space. It's a remembering, a return, a reactivation. Thoth placed it within the human spirit because he knew the universe would try to control knowledge, to gatekeep wisdom, but no one can take what is written in your essence. That's why you don't need to find the key. You are the key. The illusions will fight back. Just before breakthrough comes breakdown. That's why everything feels intense right now. That's why emotions rise without warning. That's why your body is tired, your dreams vivid, your spirit restless. The energy is rearranging, the veil is thinning, the truth is surfacing, and that door hidden in the quietest part of your being is waiting for one thing, your yes. The pull you feel isn't anxiety, it's alignment. It's your soul recognizing the same signal Thoth embedded into the very ether of existence. It's not loud, but it's relentless. It speaks in moments of déjà vu, in chills that dance across your skin for no reason, in numbers repeating over and over again. These are not coincidences, these are coordinates. You've seen them, those patterns. 1111, 333, 707, they're not just numbers, they are frequencies calling you back to center, back to the original agreement, the covenant made before you ever entered a body, contract written in light, sealed with sacred breath. The more you awaken, the more you realize this world is a maze of mirrors, reflections designed to either distract you or reveal you. The matrix thrives on confusion. It keeps the masses chasing shadows. But you're beginning to see through the veil, and that scares them, because once a chosen one sees clearly, they can no longer be controlled. They no longer seek outside validation. They no longer play by rules meant to keep them small. That's why they tried to suppress you with fear, with shame, with doubt. Not because you were weak, but because you were powerful beyond belief. You are a disruptor of illusions, a carrier of truth frequencies. Every time you speak from your soul, systems tremble. Every time you refuse to conform, you reclaim sovereignty. And the more you remember who you are, the more the door responds to you, unfolding like a flower in divine timing. This door isn't bound by physical space. It's multidimensional. It opens through inner alchemy, through choosing love over fear, through surrender, not control, through wisdom, not noise. That's why silence has always been your sanctuary. In the stillness, you recalibrate. In the silence, you access the codes. Have you ever wondered why ancient teachings were hidden in symbols, myths, and metaphors? Because the sacred cannot be forced into language. It must be felt, lived, embodied. That's why your journey can't be taught. It must be remembered. You're remembering now. And with every memory, a piece of the door awakens, not just for you, but for others. Your awakening ripples through the collective field. Like a tuning fork, you recalibrate everything you touch. Thoth designed the cosmic door to respond to resonance. That's why your external life had to fall apart. Jobs, relationships, identities, everything that wasn't in alignment had to go, because only the authentic you holds the frequency needed to pass through. You may feel weary, you may feel unsure, but know this: weariness is not weakness. It's a sign of deep spiritual work. You've been transmuting lifetimes of density, breaking cycles that began long before you were born, carrying codes that others couldn't hold. And now, as the veil lifts and the noise fades, the door is glowing. Not as a destination, but as a reflection of the divinity within you, of the purpose you tried to forget but could never truly erase. You were never lost. You were simply buried under expectations, fears, wounds, and lies, but your soul never forgot. That flicker of knowing, even in your darkest moments, was proof that something ancient inside you refused to die. Every challenge you've faced has been a spiritual cipher, unlocking the next layer of remembrance. The betrayal? A redirection. The heartbreak? A purification. The loneliness? A cocoon for rebirth. What you thought was breaking you was actually breaking you open. And through each crack, light poured in. Truth returned, memory awakened. The echoes of Thoth's design stirred within your being. The temple gates you once saw in dreams started aligning with your real-life experiences. Sacred geometry no longer felt foreign, it felt familiar. That's why you've always been drawn to symbols: the Eye of Horus, the Ankh, the pyramid, the flower of life. They're not just visuals, they're living blueprints encoded into your soul. Every time you see them, something stirs inside, a remembering, a vibration, a silent call to rise. You don't need permission to walk this path. You are the path. You are the prophecy fulfilled, the lost wisdom reactivated, the living tablet that Thoth foresaw. That's why your awakening isn't just a personal journey, it's a cosmic event. Each breath you take in alignment sends a signal through the grid. Each healed wound releases collective pain. Each courageous step forward shifts timelines. You are not walking alone. You are leading a soul lineage that spans dimensions. The tests have been brutal because your power is unmatched. Most people are given small missions, but you were trusted with sacred fire. That's why your obstacles seemed insurmountable. You had to prove, not to others, but to the universe itself, that you could hold the light without losing your way. And now you're standing at the edge. The veil is thin, the door is near. The energy around you is trembling because it recognizes your frequency. The ancient door, Thoth sealed with divine intention, is humming your soul's song. Do you feel the magnetism in your chest? That pull, that ache? That's the door responding. It's never been locked. It's only been waiting for you to become the version of yourself that could walk through it with sacred awareness. This is why you could never settle. Why mediocrity drained you. Why the ordinary never satisfied you. Because you weren't meant to live in the mundane. You were meant to walk between worlds, to speak light into dark spaces, to be the bridge. And that bridge begins with you saying yes to the unknown, saying yes to your inner knowing, even when the world calls you crazy, saying yes to the visions that won't let you sleep, saying yes to the divine discomfort that's pushing you out of the illusion. Because once you say yes, not from fear, but from remembrance, the door doesn't just open, it welcomes you. It reveals lifetimes you've lived, missions you've completed, powers you've held and must now reclaim. The memories that return when you approach the door aren't fantasies, they're fragments, pieces of a sacred mosaic you've carried across dimensions, flashes of temples lost to time, whispers in languages you never learned but somehow understand, visions of stars collapsing and reforming in your name. These aren't dreams, they're echoes. You've been here before, not just in this lifetime. You were among the first to receive the sacred knowledge. You stood in halls carved with hieroglyphs that pulsed with light. You spoke the original language, the one that shaped creation, and you promised, before you departed that plane, to return when the time was right. That time is now. That's why everything around you is shifting, why old structures are collapsing. The world senses your return. It remembers the vibration of a fully awakened, chosen one. It trembles at the thought of you remembering who you are, because when you do, nothing stays the same. This is more than awakening. This is initiation. You've passed the tests of endurance, of silence, of isolation. You've walked the desert of doubt, drank from the bitter cup of rejection, and still your spirit kept rising. That resilience wasn't accidental, it was preparation, because the door cannot be opened with knowledge alone. It responds to frequency, and your pain refined your frequency. Your tears purified it. Your solitude strengthened it. The darkness you faced wasn't punishment, it was the crucible that forged your divine resonance. And now your energy is aligned. You are vibrating at the threshold. That's why your body has become more sensitive. Why people either gravitate toward you or recoil from you. Why electronics glitch around you. Why your presence feels too intense for some. You are no longer a part of this world's programming. You are part of its reprogramming. Thoth's door doesn't respond to titles, credentials, or achievements. It responds to truth. Raw, sacred, unfiltered truth. That's why you had to strip everything away, to stand naked in soul before the divine and declare, I am ready. And the moment you do, the codes activate, visions intensify, synchronicities accelerate, dreams become messages, nature starts speaking to you, animals move differently around you, the universe begins to dance in rhythm with your breath. You're not going crazy, you're becoming conscious. You were never meant to fit into this world. You were meant to reshape it. And that reshaping begins when you cross the threshold, not just metaphorically, but vibrationally. The door Thoth constructed wasn't a physical construct, it was a vibrational passage that only those with divine remembrance could activate. And now it responds to you. Every time you reject fear, the door pulses. Every time you honor your inner voice over external noise, it glows brighter. It's not made of stone or metal, it's made of memory, willpower, and soul fire. That's why the world trained you to forget. From the moment you arrived, it tried to drown your knowing with noise. You were taught to doubt your intuition, silence your visions, and distrust your own light. But the training didn't erase your truth, it only buried it. And now, the truth is rising. Do you notice how the same cycles keep returning? Not to torment you, but to test whether you've remembered. Every repeated lesson is a checkpoint, a spiritual calibration, a moment to choose differently, because choice is what aligns you with the key. The key isn't something you find, it's something you become. Thoth encoded that truth into your being. Hidden in your DNA are dormant codes waiting to be awakened by your own choices. Every aligned decision flips a switch. Every act of courage unlocks a seal. The more truth you live, the more the door reveals itself. You don't need a guru, you don't need a map. You are the map. You are the prophecy. You are the hidden scroll they tried to burn. That's why people sense something in you they can't explain. That's why they react strongly, even when you say nothing. Your presence alone challenges falsehood. But remember this, light is disruptive. Awakening shakes everything. You'll lose people. You'll be misunderstood. You'll question your sanity. But that's the price of remembering. That's the price of accessing the door. Only the brave walk this path. Only the soul-tested find the gate. And you didn't just come to find it. You came to open it. For others, for generation. For timelines yet to be written. When you open the door, it's not just for you, it's for the collective, for every soul still trapped in the illusion, for every heart silenced by fear, for every seeker wandering in the dark, not knowing why they feel different. You are the key not because of what you know, but because of who you've become. This journey has carved you open in ways few can understand. You've cried silent tears in rooms full of people. You've smiled through pain because your mission required it. You've carried light through shadows no one else dared to enter. That's not weakness. That's divine resilience. That's the mark of the chosen. The cosmic door recognizes that mark. It reads your scars like sacred symbols. Every wound, every heartbreak, every disappointment, they weren't setbacks, they were activations. Layers peeling back so the purest version of you could emerge. And now that version stands before the gate, not as a beggar but as a beacon, not asking for permission but owning divine authority. You don't knock on the door, you vibrate it open with your truth, with your love, with your memory. You've seen glimpses of this moment in your dreams, in temples suspended in golden light, in stairways leading into stars, in hands etched with symbols that glow when touched. Those weren't fantasies, they were fragments of your mission briefing. Thoth knew the door could not be guarded by force. It had to be protected by frequency, hidden in plain sight but invisible to the unawakened. Only one with a purified spirit, aligned heart, and activated memory could perceive it. And now you see it, maybe not with your eyes, but with your essence. That's why you feel a magnetic pull in certain places, why certain books, symbols, or names send chills through your body. It's not random, it's recognition, it's remembrance. The illusion is thinning now. Time is collapsing. What used to take lifetimes is happening in weeks. You're not evolving, you're returning to your original state, to the divine intelligence you were never meant to forget. And the closer you get to the threshold, the louder the interference becomes. That's why your doubts flare up, why distractions multiply, why people suddenly turn on you. It's the resistance, it's the guardians of the old paradigm trying to pull you back. But you didn't come this far to turn around. The interference is proof that you're getting closer. The chaos, the noise, the confusion, it all intensifies when you're about to break through, because the old world senses the collapse of its illusion the moment you remember your truth. You're not being attacked because you're weak. You're being tested because you're powerful. There's a reason why the moment of awakening feels like a storm. It's because your soul is shaking the foundation of everything false, and falsehoods don't go quietly. They scream, they claw, they seduce you back into numbness. But you've already tasted truth, and even a drop of it ruins every lie forever. Thoth's door doesn't just lead forward, it leads inward. It requires full surrender, not to something outside of you, but to the truth within you, the part of you that never bowed to fear, the voice you silenced to survive. That voice is rising now, not as a whisper, but as a roar. And as you step closer, you begin to feel the alignment. Synchronicities become undeniable. Numbers follow you. Dreams turn prophetic. Your intuition sharpens like a sword. You begin speaking in ways you've never been taught, remembering things you never learned. This is not madness. This is activation. The ancient knowledge wasn't lost. It was stored inside you, in your cells, in your dreams, in your struggles. Thoth encoded it in soul memory, knowing it would be time-released only when your spirit matured enough to handle it. That time is now. You're not here to study symbols. You're here to embody them, to become the glyph, the living sigil, the scroll come alive. The cosmic door is already reacting. Every breath you take in alignment causes it to vibrate. Every step in faith draws it nearer. That's why you feel it in your bones. The sense that something monumental is about to shift, that you're standing on the edge of an invisible cliff with destiny waiting on the other side. The fear you feel? It's not fear of failure, it's the trembling awe of stepping into your full power. You were taught to fear your power because the world couldn't control it. But the time for playing small is over. The time for blending in is done. You didn't come here to conform, you came here to awaken, to disrupt, to rebuild. And every atom of your being knows this. Chosen one, the door is open and it responds to you. You've felt it. You've seen the signs. This is your confirmation. You were never meant to live in the shadows. You were born to awaken this world. If this message stirred something deep within your soul, if you felt chills, tears, or a sudden remembrance, it's because your time has come. Now rise into your calling, step fully into your truth, and join a tribe of awakened souls who see you, feel you, and walk beside you. Like this video if it spoke to your spirit. Comment below with the words, "I remember who I am." Let the universe witness your declaration. And subscribe to Ascended Awakening, because we're not just revealing truths, we're igniting destinies. Your journey has only just begun.